Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome back to another episode of the FUTception podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about FIFA. In the future, with these podcasts, since there's not too much to talk about in regards to FIFA, because we kind of cover up most topics usually, it could turn into a football podcast. But for today, we have the one and only Spencer, as you guys know, huge gorilla. So be sure to say hi, Spencer.
Hello, guys.
So today we're gonna have a regular FIFA discussion. I want to get Spencer's 2 cents on the gameplay, the content, because as you guys know, you guys already know my point of view when it comes to certain things, everything FIFA related. I've had people like Run the Full Market and Kurt on the podcast as well, and it's really good to get everybody's perspective, whether people agree or disagree with my opinion or the general community's opinion. So first off, I want to start off with your weekend league. You just explained right now you finished on 27-3. What was your experience playing the weekend league with this gameplay patch?
Well, Friday when I played on stream, even though I think I lost one game, the gameplay was nice, and I think it's a different. Obviously, we're gonna go into this deep in discussion, I reckon. But when the gameplay is good, like a lot of things automatically get fixed, or you kind of ignore what's actually wrong with the game because it actually feels good. But yesterday and today, when I've been playing my games and the gameplay's not been smooth, I'm just playing people that are dropping deep, and then like working a goal's fine. I'm all for that. But when you're just AI defending, you got 10 people behind the ball, and you can't even finish because you don't even know what goes in. Like there's an actually like you tell me what's a go-to finish because there's nothing that's consistent. But I'm all for them taking the time finesses out. But now that we literally have nothing that's consistent, like last year's driven shots, for example.
Right. I think in regards to what you're saying is so this is the discussion that we have all the time, is that the core issue of FIFA is usually the inconsistent gameplay part, and we get into that all the time. I always get into the specifics. A lot of people know that, like for myself and for a lot of people, we're like the focal points in this topic exactly. But the thing is that for you, right, when the gameplay feels good, when you're defending, you can switch properly. When you're defending with the manually, you can transition left and right properly. It doesn't feel sluggish. When you get the control of the ball, the dribbling no longer feels like shit. The dribbling actually feels decent. I explained this to Kurt. I don't know what Kurt feels like when the gameplay is good. But for me, I like the dribbling when the gameplay is good, and a lot of problems actually kind of fixes itself when it does feel decent. Like earlier today, I played a draft game, and I was like, well, the gameplay is good. And it was like the first 2 minutes, you can feel it right away. And I think what Spencer is trying to say is basically, and I think you'll agree with this, is that the touches and the sluggish gameplay kind of makes the meta really shit because it's harder to score opportunities because of how sluggish it feels.
Yeah, when the gameplay is smooth, it's harder to score goals than it is pre-patch. But when the gameplay isn't smooth and how it should be, then it's 10 times harder because like to do these 1-2 passes or do an elastico or do this type of dribbling, you kind of have to resort to these tornado crosses or just hit a pot shot from outside the box, or you try and work something in the box, but the AI defender's just going to intercept and you get countered. So it's like I don't think EA would ever find a balance. And it's. I mean, are we going to get another patch? Because if we do, it's like 5 months into the game, and then we've got to relearn something else. So I feel like this is like the big patch that we're going to get, and that's it. I think what we've got is what we have to put with for the rest of the year. Maybe some little tweaks here and there, but I just don't understand why you take out these time finishes, but you don't touch driven shots or B shots or anything like that. It just confuses me. I feel like they've took out the finesse shots because people complain about it. That's fine. That's how it should happen. But at the same time, you have to find a balance. If you're taking the main way of scoring out of the game, like the logic would be like go and find something. There must be something else to go and score, but there really isn't. And I mean, obviously, you can score with anything in the game, of course, but consistently, like I can have the same shot with Timmy and Neymar, same angle 10 times in a row. I don't know which one's going to go in. I've just got to hope and pray it goes in.
Yeah, usually, like, even if you go for a driven shot, sometimes it just results in like a regular power shot that, like, it actually rises from when it leaves your player's foot and it goes in, or it'll just go in from like actually rolling on the floor, so on and so forth. The thing that I talk about a lot, Spencer, and again, I'm gonna give certain opinions, and I want your opinion on this, and I really liked Kurt's opinion of this, and the competitive players in general, is that I always talk about a gameplay balance, right? So the only reason why I always say that finishing should be the most accurate and the most consistent way to score, especially from good angles, is because the defensive AI is so effective. Because they already have that down, the shooting part should be the easiest, including the timed finishing and all these extra things you have to do, like, you know, with the driven shot. The driven shot's nice. I actually like the new command for the driven shot, LBR1 or.
I don't mind the command. I just like, could you, when we first had these green finesses where you could literally shoot from anywhere, obviously like it was really bad, but I don't think it'd be as bad if we still had FIFA 18 and etc. driven shots, because the problem we had with these finesse shots were that was the only way to score consistently. But if you had that as alongside driven shots, like when you're in the box, like driven shots are really good. It gives you something else to think about and another way of attacking. I think it's just like they take one thing out, make it really bad, and then they just bring something else that's really OP. And it's like a yo-yo effect every single year.
Right. There needs to be a balance of different ways to score because, again, especially since defensive AI is so effective, like this is a big thing, right? If your gameplay doesn't feel good and your players are taking these heavy touches, defensive AI is going to go to them really quickly. So if you do find yourself in space where you take the extra touch to get in that 90-degree angle, that right side angle, right? And you take the driven shot across goal, you really should score with most of the gold players, not even like the top tiers. The top tiers, if you want to pay for the top tier players, in my opinion, it should be based off of composure, because obviously you want to pay for the top tier players for a reason, right? But it should be basically like, even if they have pressure on them, they still hit the shot accurately. But if I'm using like Riyad Mahrez essentially, right, and there's a guy right next to me, then okay, I understand if your shot maybe isn't going to be accurate because I'm not paying for, you know, a George Best or a Thierry Henry or a Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, just to have that balance of like, obviously they want a pay to win aspect in this game, right? But I just think that when it comes to the finishing in this game, like, you can literally hit the middle of the target and your player will miss the entire net. It's disgusting.
Yeah, honestly though, with finishing in general, I've never really, with top tier players like Tini and Neymar, is there actually a difference between Neymar, Lewandowski, Kane, and all these players? I don't think there is with finishing. I've never understood what stat actually affects it. You know, when one-on-one with a keeper, like if you pick the angle, I feel like with a half decent play, it should go in anyway, unless for some reason you mess it up or, you know, you move the keeper. But it annoys me because this, like, we had FIFA 18 and we was all saying like you can't get any worse than this FIFA, and then they've outdone themselves and they've done it again. Now, all right, their idea for time finishing was to create a skill gap. That's fine, but like, surely you could, test it and understand that within a week or two, people would master it, and not even pros, like, you know, average people. It's not really that hard because yellow shots were going in as well. So, and then with this keeper movement, like, didn't they have it in? Was it FIFA 17 or something like that for like a very, very short period? But then they took it out.
They took it out instantly. Yep.
So, like, I don't understand why put back into the game when you've tested it for whatever reason. And people didn't like it and you took it out, so why put it back in the game? But I don't think moving the keeper's like, you know, the worst part. I mean, obviously, you know, I would prefer it to be out of the game. Like, I think they need to go back to basics. Obviously, I'm going to be biased in saying this, but FIFA 15 and 16 were my favourite FIFAs. But like, what was wrong? I think people misunderstand. Like, you want to recreate football, but it's impossible for FIFA to be anywhere near real life football. You can't get it 100%. It's impossible, and it's a video game, so it's like, I think EA have to pick one or the other. Like, do you want it to be like an arcadey game, or do you want it to be as near real life as possible? But I feel like they just can't win, which I understand they're in a tough position. But for the competitive, like, I mean, I was watching when I'm not at these tournaments, watching this competitive scene and some of the shots going on. Obviously, the pro players have to do that. Like, they want to win, they have to use the meta. But some of the shots I'm seeing are just hilarious.
Yeah, especially with the new meta of because I think people were explaining to me the other day that I think it was #Harry that was facing somebody else, and they scored like 5 El Tornado crosses, and that's just that's not where the skill should come from. The skill should come from, you know what? I found myself to be in a good angle. I broke down your defense. This is how I'm going to score now, right? I think with FIFA 15, right? I think, and this is what it was. FIFA 15 had awful goalkeepers from 1v1s, but the things that people need to understand is that you had to get yourself into a position to 1v1, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
because they were awful, it was actually fun because you would win most of the games you deserve to win because it was based off of being a good attacker and also being a good defender because the defensive AI wasn't that effective during that time. The only thing that people used to complain about in the older FIFA was the five at the back. The five at the back formation was fucking
Yeah.
crazy, right? But
I mean, that's basically what we have now, anyway. So
exactly, like we still we still basically have that. But no, I know what you're saying. I want to understand the point of view of a competitive player because for me personally, right? When I play this game, and you can give me your thoughts about this, it's not really, you can't push this as an esport. Can I be honest? This game realistically is kind of similar to what real life football would be because real life football is kind of random. The only teams that play consistently and can score some really nice goals is teams like really good attacking teams like Liverpool and Man City, right? But the goals that you can see in this game with the deflections and the headers and
yeah,
the finishing being off with pressure on, yeah, it's kind of realistic. But in a video game, it's not fun to have these things. It's not fun to try to get better at a game that has so much built-in RNG in it for you to get better at. You know what I'm saying?
I think FIFA's always going to have RNG. It's impossible to get away from that. Obviously, there's ways to minimize it, but I mean, I just asked the chat this question: if people were watching FIFA 15 or 16, or remember that gameplay, like, what would you rather watch, that or what we had last year or this year? Because it's like I'm watching this year, and it's just like, what's so fun about this? It's just like whoever can master moving the keeper and time finishing, right? And it's not easy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, every pro is mastered. There's obviously some better, some of the pros better than others. But the fact that you have to think about moving your keeper, this is obviously pre-patch, moving your keeper from 40 yards out potentially, is just hilarious. And I feel like we need to get back to the basics, like I said, and it's just ridiculous that obviously there's going to be bounces and deflections, or you keep making a mistake. Of course, like that's going to happen. I don't think you can ever get rid of that with the mechanics, but the fact that we have to potentially go down the wing, doing an El Tornado skill move into a first time cross to win a header is like a new way of scoring. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, pros are going to have to do that. If that is the way to score, or one of the ways to score, then you're going to see that. It's like, I just feel like they don't. I said it last year, or obviously the game changers, they can only do so much, and I don't blame them. I never have, but I don't understand why why EA don't get pros. Not even on about me, but or people that play the game consistently at like a top level, to go and test the game months, not like a week beforehand, like months before, to iron out some of these issues. Obviously, there's going to be issues regardless. Like, we can't fix everything, but the fact that we're 4.5 months into the game, and we've had the biggest patch that's changed like the fundamental of how you play FIFA 19. It should not be happening. Like, they've brought out 2 patches before this that attempted to decrease the effectiveness of time finesse shots, and now they're like, do you know what? We can't seem to manage it. Let's just get rid of it completely. It's just like, it's every year, isn't it? It's like, what FIFA should have is, it's a yearly cycle as it stands until it goes subscription based, whenever that may be. Hopefully, when FIFA comes out, it should be, it's a brand new FIFA, not like a work in progress where 4 or 5 months, that's when you get the final product. Because by, I don't know, August or something, July, like, people aren't going to be playing it. Once my tournaments are over, I won't be playing FIFA. I've not enjoyed playing FIFA for the past, since FIFA 17. And
Right.
this year is just, I don't understand it. Like, whoever sat there and decided to put moving the keeper in there and time finishing, I want to know why. Like, obviously their reason is skill gap, but surely did somebody thought, all right, these are quite effective. Hitting the green looks hard, but in reality, like, most people are mastering. It's just like, how like, tell me, do you not test like doing a finesse shot, not looking at the goal from 40 yards out 100 times, thousands of times? Because if you don't, then that's why we got this issue. But if you do, we shouldn't have this issue in the first place.
Right. They have to try things that are just extravagant, like doing turnaround shots and seeing how
Right.
accurate they are, stuff like that. No, I absolutely agree with that. It's kind of crazy because you notice that every time FIFA comes out, they always give us the closed beta, right?
Yeah,
The closed beta
that's useless.
is never ever close to the full release of the game, right? And
One
when
hundred
we get a
percent.
closed beta in any other game, it's basically like they're really close to the final product of the game. Maybe they'll fix the frame rate issue, or they're gonna fix like one or two things. But in FIFA, it's like, dude, what we played in the beta, even Spencer, even the demo was nothing like the full release of the game. The
Yeah,
demo
I
was
say,
like,
the demo I've been saying for about 3 years now is nothing like the actual release of the game. Obviously, I assume it's a build from like 2-3 months because they have to put it forward to Microsoft and Sony and stuff. But the demo is pointless unless you're trying to, you want to play it because it's a new game, but it's nothing anywhere near it. And even the beta is nothing like it. And do they even take any of the feedback into account? Because it doesn't look like it.
yeah, a lot of people. I remember a lot of people complained about the finishing 1v1s in the beta and stuff, and that's just something that like we're still dealing with. I don't know. For me, when it comes to this game, right, and I think this comes for a lot of people too, is that, like you said, when you play this game enough, you understand like what should be balanced, right? So
Yeah.
I'll give you a very good example. FIFA 18 pre-patch. Did you like that game?
Um, I'll be honest. It's not like I didn't like it, but it was new to me. And I'm not gonna. I was conceding a lot of goals, but I think with time, which they didn't give it, I think people would come around to it because I remember at the start, like every game was double figures
Right.
without question. Now, I mean, is that even a bad thing? I don't know. But obviously, the defending was more manual, and I think given more time, people would come around to the idea of it because we were so used to the idea of AI defending. Like, all right, we could just rely on the AI, and now it's like, all right, if you're not good at defending and you rely on the AI, then you're going to concede a lot of goals. But yeah, I wasn't not a fan, and I wasn't a fan at the same time. I wasn't going on Twitter like, oh my god, this is so good, because I was conceding a lot. But I think getting used to it, maybe it would have been a good thing, but I think we didn't even get long with that, did we? Maybe a few weeks, if that.
Yeah, I think there was like I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks that they did it. Because my suggestion when it came to that game is, and anyone that remembers me playing that game, like it still had inconsistent gameplay. That's the main core thing that they need to fix. They have to fix it. It's fucking stupid at this point. But in that game, right, there was a couple things that needed to be fixed, right? One, the switching, but the switching comes with the consistent gameplay. When your gameplay feels good, the switching is fine. Even Spencer will say that for this game. Like when it's good,
Yeah.
the switching is perfectly fine. But the acceleration of defenders had to be better because they reacted like it was like obviously an attacker will always have an advantage over a defender, but it was way too slow. And they're like when you selected them, it's like the registration of doing something with them just took too long. So transitioning left and right with them would have been important. The shooting directly at the goalkeeper from a driven shot was broken because they had a really stupid animation. So when the shot was directed right at the goalkeeper, they needed to fix that too. But the accuracy of the shots was fucking amazing because if you did a shot and it was directly at the goalkeeper, it means that you didn't take a good enough touch or angle or get a good enough touch and angle to score that opportunity. Because if you did a driven shot across goal, you could even score it with fucking Sane's right foot. I scored driven shots from good angles with my fullbacks. That's how great the finishing was, right? So
Were we talking about
FIFA 18 pre-patch.
FIFA 18. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that with those small mechanic changes, the game could have been one of the best games that we've ever had. Because I personally like, even in that year, the pace nerf, because pace is still important no matter what anybody tells you. Does defensive AI get to you? Yeah.
You think this year? I don't know.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. When you go to the competitions, you still have people that are over 90 pace, correct?
Well, like Neymar and stuff, obviously. Like, I'm not going to go and put Peter Crouch up top.
Yeah, well, and obviously, but there are players that don't have the pace, that do have the shooting, physical, passing, and all that stuff, but they don't have the pace. But you're not going to use the guy with a lower pace.
But if I go and put Godin at centre back and Vincent Kompany, and I'm through. I've done a through ball to Mbappe. They're catching up.
No, they will. I'm not saying that they won't.
Should not be happening. Should not be happening.
Yeah, because when they're through on goal, they should be through on goal. Absolutely, especially because the balance should be okay. If your depth is high, right, and you fucked up and someone ran in behind your defense, you fucked up. But you can avoid people passing your defense like that by having your depth lower, right?
Yeah.
Because if they get behind you, it's going to be harder because your depth is lower. So I get you in that regard, but I think the pace nerf was way too great this year than it was in previous years. This year, the most out of any year, defensive AI fucking goes to you. You know what I'm saying? But the first time that they did it, I really liked the pace nerf because I was like, fuck, now I can actually use people who actually play center mids to play as a center mid. Because back in the day, we used to use like freaking Christian Atsu as a center mid because he had pace and dribbling, remember?
Do you remember the days of Victor Ibarbo at centre back?
Oh man, Ibarbo at center. Dude, some people used to put Cristiano Ronaldo at center back. Yeah. That's how fucking good it was, man.
Has anyone actually ever tried this FIFA? Because I'm curious. Like, imagine a team with Ronaldo centre back. You never know.
So you know what I've noticed with so in this year's game, I think having defensive and physical stats is more relevant when the gameplay is not good than when it's good, because I've been trying out the 4-3-3 false 9, and I had Thierry Henry playing as a center mid, and you know Thierry Henry's work rates on that left wing card is like a medium. Right. Dude, amazing, because the defending I actually had to do myself because he wasn't going to do it himself because he has no interception stats or anything like that, right? But using Thierry Henry as a center mid was great because 1, he had the pace, and 2, he can attack and defend really nicely because of his pace, the physical presence, the weak foot, the skill moves, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So, but I think it's less relevant when your game doesn't feel great. Like if you it's better to probably have a Pogba when your gameplay is not great than a Thierry Henry as a center mid. You know?
No, I think last year a lot of the pros played Thierry Henry as a centre mid, and he done a good job. I don't like him this year. I'm actually in the process of thinking whether to go back to narrow, but then that left centre mid is like, all right, the go-to would be Timmy and Modric, but I'm actually rocking with Ronaldinho as left centre mid. I actually used him in my last tournament, and he was doing good. So honestly, I don't even know what stats do what. What does reactions do? What does composure do? For me, the main one for me, for the majority of my players, especially defenders and midfielders, is agility. Like, I think like in the bad gameplay, the high agility, you get a little bit something out of the player. They can turn that a little bit quicker. Same thing with Neymar. I feel like Neymar's a bit more immune to the bad gameplay for turning. Whereas like Cristiano Ronaldo, normal card is it feels a bit stuck in the mud. So I just would love to know like what does composure do for a centre back in specific situations. If my team Ramos has 99 interceptions, what's the difference between that and 89 interceptions? Like, why do we still not know these? Maybe we do, and I just haven't seen them. But why do we not know what these stats are?
I think the composure has to do with whatever, because I think they've explained this before, and in game it kind of makes sense a little bit. It's based off of how your players perform under pressure. So basically with a center back, if you have possession of the ball and someone's coming at you, they don't fuck up as much, but there's no specifics to it. Like, because if you have, let's just say you have like 82 composure, 83 composure as a center back, right? And you have good defensive stats, good physical. What would be the difference between that and having like 95 composure? We don't know that, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely know what you're saying. I think in FIFA nowadays, the 4 main stats that go with each other is the acceleration, sprint speed, agility, and balance, right? So Sergio Ramos, for instance, has incredible sprint speed, acceleration, agility, and balance, and that's why he's so good, right? But the rest of the stats, you definitely notice when they don't have them good. Like you said, Ronaldo feels sluggish in bad gameplay, but that's because his balance is poor. His balance is more noticeable in bad gameplay than in good gameplay, because in good gameplay, everyone can dribble. So it's more about his agility.
I always thought balance was like when they're about to fall over, the higher the balance, they'll stay up. If anything, you want it to be low in some situations, because like if you get tackled in the penalty area and they stay up, you ain't getting the penalty. So
yeah, I could definitely see it that way too.
But majority of time balance is good. But yeah, it's like I feel like with FIFA, it's just so one-dimensional. It's like, all right, look at the pro teams. Right, majority of them, give or take, have the majority of the same team, and I feel like there's just not really any personal touch on it. For like me, for Tass, for Kurt, like any pro player you can name, it's like it's just like Ronaldo's up front, Timmy Mbappe, Timmy Neymar, like Ramos, Varane, Van Dijk, maybe an icon centre back, depends on what you like. But there's no variety. I feel like chemistry restricts a lot. I mean, don't even get me started on chemistry styles. I feel like they still
get into it, bro. I want to hear what you think about it.
They do not do anywhere near what they say they do. Obviously, EA came out and gave us a detailed explanation of it does do it, but if they do what they say they do on the card, like I would love to know. Like I want to see examples, videos, because have you seen all these pace when they run from one side of the pitch to the other,
those videos like of Aubameyang, Gareth Bale and stuff.
Yeah, like to me, that's just clear as day. Like, what else do you want to see? But I've never really noticed anything. I just put on chemistry styles. If they do something, like fine, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Like, I'll still put what makes sense to my player, just in case I am wrong. But I was right about FIFA 16 Chemgate, and everyone was like, "Why didn't I not like informs and all these special cards?" I didn't know in the moment. I was like, "They just don't feel right." I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I do.
And then next thing you know, someone on Reddit found out, and yeah, I got proven right. So maybe one day I'll get proven correct on the chemistry styles as well, but we'll see.
The thing with you was because it was both. I think it was me and you, bro. Because when I used to do drafts, I used to do like 40 chem, 50 chem teams, and people were like, "Why are you using 50 chem, 40 chem teams?" I'm like, because they're literally playing amazing in game. Why would I change that meta? And for you, it was the Griezmann. It was the rare golds, and then it was the informs that just didn't do shit for you.
Yeah, I had the 83 Griezmann, probably the best card on any FIFA. And then he had an 84 upgrade, used him, he wasn't good. But he had several informs on FIFA 16, I believe, and everyone was bad until the 95 or something team of the season because he was that good. Him off chemistry, you wouldn't really, you'd be able to still tell a difference. But upgrading to his informs, he's playing on 6 chemistry, whereas the 83 would have 10 chemistry. So, but yeah, I would love to know how many years that was in the game, and then you really got figured out on FIFA 16.
It was pretty much there the whole time. Like if you kind of think about it, they kind of like robbed people of like, hey, we're upgrading our cards, but we're not actually. They got away with that, man. I'm just saying because technically you're stealing people's money doing that.
Yeah, because you're advertising a team near Ronaldo. You assume they get 10 chemistry because that's what the game's telling you, but. He's getting, what was it, 5.2?
It was base chem, yeah.
Yeah, and it's it is what it is, but
he got the stat boost in other areas, and that's why he was noticeably better. But when you got informs, because they were only ups by like 1s, 2s, and 3s, like you just couldn't notice a difference because they weren't actually getting boosted from the chemistry style, right? So
yeah, no, it was interesting, but yeah, I'll ask you a question. What's your favorite FIFA? I mean, obviously, we'll take FIFA 18 and 19 off the table. If anyone's favorite FIFA is FIFA 18 or 19, then fair play to you. But yeah, FIFA 17 back.
Okay, so the thing that I always tell people, Spencer, is basically I liked every FIFA except for 14 before 16 if the gameplay feels good. If the gameplay feels good, I liked 15. I liked 16.
Let's just take into account every game had good gameplay. So, like, let's just say you could pick FIFA 14 on flawless gameplay, FIFA 16 on flawless gameplay, because obviously it's different. But for me, FIFA 14, I was shit at.
The headers, man. Couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's like you keep the ball, you work it down the wing, and you cross it to Miroslav Klose, you've scored, or Mandzukic. But the gameplay was nice. Like I miss like the FIFA 14, 15, maybe 16. Close, like the ball was stuck to you.
Yeah,
it's not in front of you. And I missed that, and like doing those nice little skill moves of ball rolls, like they were quick. And I feel like they've got rid of like not the arcadey feel because it was never really arcadey, but you know what I mean, that kind of feeling. And I think now it's just like they're trying their best to create this skill gap, trying to be more realistic. And I feel like eventually they'll realize, like, all right, they can't. Yeah, the skill that they can increase, but they're doing it in the wrong way. I don't think they actually know how to increase the skill gap.
No,
but yeah,
there is a way of, like, if you play FIFA long enough, there is a way of creating it because the biggest thing is especially in the attack, right? Because the thing that I explain to people is if you have a good defensive AI, your finishing needs to be good. If you have a manual defensive AI and your finishing is not that consistent, but it's decent, then that makes sense, right? You can't have, like, the meta that we have right now, Spencer, in my opinion, you'll give me yours in terms of a pro player, right? It makes zero sense to have manual goalkeeping when your shots are not accurate. Like if you manual goalkeep to the left and I go to the right and my player misses it, what the fuck, right? So manual goalkeeping makes no sense. The shooting is inconsistent, so with manual goalkeeping, it's especially stupid. Defensive AI is very effective, especially if someone's parking the bus and congesting that middle. So when I do get into the opportunity, the shots better be fucking accurate. And then I think that was pretty much it. Because the defensive AI being effective, your touches, especially when the gameplay's bad, it's just too terrible. They don't do like snaps. They don't just touch it and go. They drag, you know?
I think they can. I feel like now would be the best. If they could take out the keeper movement, I think now's the best time to do it. But I feel like if they take the keeper movement out, or like make it a little bit more slow, because I still think it's similar to what it was pre-patch. But what they need to do is in the next few weeks, like don't start waiting a month. They need to do it soon as is make driven shots effective and more consistent.
Yep.
B shots. I mean, it's like, all right, what do you want? B shots, greens to be more consistent, or just B shots without timing? Because
timing can go fuck itself, man. Timing is literally the dumbest mechanic ever. B shots, if you do a regular B shot and you're in the position, it should be a good shot. That's it. Yeah. No.
And I feel like the amount of times I've been through one-on-one with the keeper, and I've driven shot in the bottom corner because it's the right thing to do, and it just goes just past the post. Like, all right, what have I done wrong there? Like, because any other time it might go in, but I don't know. And I feel like this is the problem with FIFA 19 at the moment. It's just so inconsistent. There's no go-to finishing at the moment. Obviously, prior to time finesse shots, but even the time finesse shots, you never really know what
time finesse shots. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, but obviously we moved away from that. Hopefully, anyway, until someone comes out with a new way of doing the finesse shots. But yeah, I just want to get through. Like, I don't mind people dropping back, but give me a way of scoring once I do get past that, or create a chance. Because at the moment all it is rewarding average people that can just drop back, AI defend, and then just hope you take them to extra time, or you nick a counter attack goal, or you take them to penalties in FUT champs at the moment. Because the better player, all right, they're better than you, but them scoring is not really down to the player. It's down to the game allowing you to score or not.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not a thing that, like, as you're playing, you're learning. Like, okay, so this situation makes sense because the angle that I'm in or the power that I put in doesn't make sense. Like, I don't want to bring Pez up because Pez is definitely very far and stuff too good. But I played the game, right? And but the thing about Pez though, Spencer, is that the finishing in that game, when you finished an opportunity, you understood why you missed it and you understood why you scored it. Especially since chip shots is actually effective in that game, it actually made you feel good. When someone was running at you and you timed the chip shot properly, it worked out nicely. But in this game, it's like, what's a finesse or what's a chip shot? Like, chip shots are just complete. Well, finishing in general in this game is completely random, but I think that finishing in any football game needs to be the easiest thing, because the skill is about football mentality, right? How am I going to break down your team? Okay, so if my left mids and right mids are coming back, it's because I'm trying to support my right back and fullback to block the crosses that you want to do. Or that's how the game should be skilled wise, right?
The skill is in the build up and defending, not the finishing. I don't think. I think FIFA 15, I remember, I at FIFA 15 and 16, I had the angles on lock. Like, I knew when to finesse. Yeah. I knew the angle of a free kick, like how to parry and where. I knew when to driven shot it on FIFA 17 and stuff like that. I feel like now it's like, you threw one-on-one, it's like press a combination, just hopefully it goes in, like driven finesse, driven shot, time driven, finesse shot and pray. So it's like, yeah, come back to it. It's like there's no consistent go-to at the moment until maybe more people start playing, but I don't think there is at the moment.
To answer your question earlier, my favorite FIFA in terms of, like, you're saying it on like strictly good gameplay.
Yeah.
Strictly good gameplay, man. I have to agree with you. FIFA 15, if you nerfed the body feint and you just fixed the animation of the goalie,
the body feint was good.
It was fucking stupid. You know what I mean? But if you
stupidly good,
yes, if you fix the animation of the goalies, but I still scored it in the same ways to make it look more authentic, FIFA 15 was the best, hands down. I had like 10 different teams in FIFA 15, man. It was fun as fuck. I had like different formations.
Do you not miss the LB sprint boost of FIFA 16? Oh, that was so.
The LB sprint boost, I thought it was an overpowered mechanic too, because it's the way it came off. It was stupid. Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember in the older FIFAs, the headed acceleration touch your players would do when you did a lob pass?
Yeah. Vaguely.
It's like if you used Daniel Sturridge back in the day, right? And you did a lob pass and the ball bounced, but the way your player would control it would be with his head, and then from that touch, your player would sometimes do this crazy acceleration to get past the defender.
Yeah, I think was it FIFA?
I think it was
13.
Yeah, it was a stupid mechanic, man. But no, yeah, I think in terms of But my biggest thing though, Spencer, why I liked FIFA 15 so much in good gameplay, right? And I used to fight about inconsistent gameplay back then and everything, but when I liked it in good, it was so good in good gameplay that I would stream for 8 hours and then I'd be like, all right, guys, this is my last game. And then I would play one game in good gameplay and then I would stream for like another 7 hours because that's
Yeah.
how addicting it was to playing it, right?
Imagine FIFA 15 gameplay now with this content.
Oh, it would be fucking amazing, man.
Yeah, like I actually get excited of these shitty flashback cards and footies and stuff like that. Because at the moment, it's just like, all right, they look nice, they have a nice coloured card, and they have a dynamic image. But in the principle of it, it's like what do they actually do like different? Obviously, Team Nia Neymar, Team Nia Mbappe, like the go-to. But some of these players, I think they'll be even better. I feel like the meta players would have a broader player pool if it was like FIFA 15 or 16 and good gameplay. For like at the moment, it's just like too many go-to players and no one ever thinks of alternatives,
Yeah, there's a lot of new players that they add into the game, but because they don't have the specific meta requirements, that's why people don't really use them that often.
Like this, you've seen this, what are they called? The future star Havertz or something like that? The German player.
Like Vinicius Jr. and stuff, and Havertz, the cam card from Bayern Leverkusen.
Yes. Havertz on paper, like if you cover up his name, and you don't know who he is, you're like, oh my god, that is a very, very nice card. But then you look at him, it's like, I'm not using him.
Yeah.
But I felt like in FIFA 15, like you
that's a card you would use, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember FIFA 15, you would never see anybody use this now. I use 4-3-1-2 with Patrick Vieira left centre mid, Khedira centre mid, and Wayne Rooney right centre mid, right?
Yeah.
I'd never switch them around. Like, imagine playing with those three players now. Oh my god, it'd be like turning a tank.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Especially since they keep releasing new. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is another discussion I want to have with you because we've already gotten into the whole gameplay situation in terms of all that. I want to explain something because people don't understand this, but I always have to explain it. I think, people don't know this, but me and Spencer and I had a Discord discussion before this game came out. And we were talking about like, how Division Rivals is going to be added to the game. Spencer, do you remember when I told you that they're going to fuck this game by only having Division Rivals, but they don't have a regular game mode to make consistent coins? Do you remember when I told you that, bro?
No, I remember when you said it, yeah.
Bro, I was... listen, man. Division Rivals, yeah? You play Division Rivals. The rewards for the higher divisions are not good enough, okay? They're not. It's fucking garbage, okay? There's no game mode, because back in the day, Spencer, when we played FIFA 15, was it boring that there was just Division? Yes, because they had to add cool things like challenges, achievements, these fucking new cards that they keep adding into the game, they needed that back then, right? But you know what was great about Division, Spencer? One, it was open matchmaking because that was the only game mode that people could play. So if you were in Division 1, you could face Division 3, Division 2 people because everyone is only playing that game mode because it's the only online game mode you can play. And it was the most consistent way to make coins every single day through gameplay, right?
Yeah.
We don't have anything nowadays to make coins through gameplay now. Like, if you're in the menus, you make far more money doing SBCs and doing transfer market stuff than you do by actually playing the game. And I think that's bullshit.
I think, I know it's only a minority of the player pool, but for pros or people that are in Division 1, high Division 1, basically for pros at the moment, well, for the start of this FIFA anyway, is Rivals is basically pro versus pro now. It's just for practice, like, the rewards, whatever. Like, you play a lot, you're going to get the ultimate pack, whatever.
Yeah.
But now Champs, for us, is just like, we've sweated throughout the whole week. Let's just play some champs against some average players. You might be unlucky to get a pro, depends on matchmaking.
Yeah.
And just see if you can get top 100 for rewards. Like, that's how the cycle is now. It's like reversed. Whereas we used to sweat for champs, but now Rivals has took that place where I feel like they've introduced Rivals to be this casual. You'll play a lot, you'll get some good rewards at the end of the week, a lot better than the old division system. But I think now it's more FUT Champs is more of a laid back approach, and now FUT Rivals, for my experience anyway, I don't know about lower divisions, is more sweaty, more like you have to focus if you want to win. But I don't know, what division are you in?
I'm in Division 1.
Your Division 1. How's your matchmaking? Like, do you get a lot of games quick, or does it take a while?
I get the games somewhat quick. If it's during the daytime, it's good. During the nighttime, it takes forever. Because
Are your matchups normally hard though?
always, every single
Oh
one.
yeah,
Because you know me, Spencer, I do like the Road to Glory. I only use like rare
yeah.
gold cards, right? And then like, dude, the teams you come up against, like Spencer, the thing I have to explain, and some people don't get this, right, is that I always wanted division rivals in the game, right? Because knowing that when you get into that game mode, it's only going to be meta cards. That is fine, right? I'm totally cool with that. But it's the only game mode you can play where you don't have to pay to play it, right? And that's the problem because I want to have a balance of playing competitive FIFA because I've always wanted it. I want to have a balance of playing competitive FIFA, but also playing regular FIFA where I'm still making good coins from actually playing the game, right? Where division rivals shouldn't be the main thing. It should be the thing where, okay, I have to play some games today to maintain my division, maintain to keep getting my points so that at the end of the week I get good rewards. But I should still have a game mode. And this is the thing I will explain. I don't know if you know about this, but I explain that it should be the World Cup tournament mode. You don't have to make it a Champions League mode or a Europa League mode, but the format of the tournaments being three qualifying games, and then the rounds, and then you making money consistently from that would be fun in this game because one, people wouldn't always be using the meta cards. People would be using different types of teams, especially with all the cards that they keep releasing in the game. And two, you would be consistently making money and not stressing about it because you're not always facing sweaty people. Like Spencer, it's not cool to have a fucking SBC Lerma and an Informed Sun and the rest of your team rare gold and you're in Division 1 and you're only coming against like icons and team of the years. It's stupid, right? But it's not stupid if that is your competitive mode, but you have another mode to play where you can face more of an open matchmaking. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I think I don't have fun with this FIFA. It's more of a grind than anything. It's
Absolutely.
Like, FUTChamps is over. All right, did I get top 100? Top 100? Yes or no? All right, have a day off maybe, and then get back onto it. And you want to like relax, maybe just play some games just to get in the rhythm of things. But my first game on, I'm playing FaZe TAS in Division Rival.
Exactly.
Like, I've got to sweat. It's like it's a grind more than anything, which I don't mind. But like, there's no fun element to it. And I feel like I hit my head against the wall every time with FIFA because there's so much potential. Like content aside, gameplay aside, there's so much potential in everything within Ultimate Team. Like 2v2.
You're talking about gameplay content.
Yeah,
yes.
Like 2v2 could easily just solve the issue for fun, right?
Yeah.
Don't even have to have anything on the line. Don't even have to give us rewards. All right, me and you want to play, or what team do you want to use? You want to use my team or your team or mix up, whatever. Or not even that. Unlock all the players on the database because you don't get any coins for each you want to play. Like me and you versus Tass and Kurt, whatever. Just gonna have a 2v2 on stream. Like I feel like there's so much more interaction with 2v2 than it's 1v1. It's like if you're watching someone stream, let's say there was 2v2 FUTchampions. Imagine that. Oh, that'd be insane, that would. But imagine 2v2 FUTchampions, and it's like someone streaming. It's like, let's say it's me and Tass now, and then we just matched up against, I don't know, Kurt and Tex, hypothetically. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my god, you want to watch that match?
Like this is gonna be a crazy matchup.
Yeah, because like you got the communication of me and Tass. Like we're sweating. Like Tass is defending because he's a better defender. Mm-hmm. I'm attacking. Like one of us is moving the keeper. Obviously, this is in this current game. Hopefully, next year we don't have that shit. But I feel like 2v2. I feel like we're waiting for it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping next year is the way because I feel like. Competitive side away. I feel like 2v2 is probably the next step, if anything. For that, I know clubs and that I don't think will happen anytime soon or if ever. But 2v2, honestly, like I'm just like watching it. Like you tune in someone's stream, let's say 2v2 FUTchampions or 2v2 rivals, or there's a 2v2 leaderboard,
or just regular play, play.
Like, so online single match. You have another one, 2v2 online single match. Just whatever it is, like that 2v2 element. There's more banter. You got two people. It's not just one streamer or one player. You can play with your friends, even like if it's just 4 friends, like you two against your 2 mates, bragging rights and stuff like that. I feel like there's so much more fun in that and the communication and stuff like that. So I'm just missing the fun element in FIFA for last year and especially this year. It's just gone completely and just waiting for the next FIFA. But I feel like we say that every year now. Next year is going to be the year.
The last 3 years we've definitely been saying until the next FIFA. Yeah, no, and absolutely.
Then they'll bring Zinedine Zidane icon out and everyone's back to normal again. And then 2 months in, we want them to fix this, that, and the other, and we go again for FIFA 21. So it's just a cycle. I'm just getting bored of it now, to be honest.
Yeah, because every time they release a new FIFA, they're essentially starting the game from scratch and making a new game, and that's why it's always
Yeah.
garbage every single time it comes out. You know what I mean?
But I honestly, I don't know why they. I mean, I do and I don't. Like you want a brand new game so it feels different, but just work on what's wrong, and then improve what's good, and improve features and stuff like that, and then the game will be good. Obviously, it's a new FIFA every year. I feel like this is where the problem is. I feel like every year they're trying to outdo themselves, like these amazing new features with time finishing. Whereas if it was like Fortnite's a subscription, right? It's free, but you know what I mean. It's like it's just one standalone game, right? And they just update it whenever they want. It's
Yeah,
like the fundamentals of Fortnite never changes. Like if you want to build, like a few like building speed and stuff like this may change, but the fundamentals of Fortnite will never change.
right.
Unless maybe it will, but you know what I mean. With FIFA, the fundamentals change on a flip. You know, like 4 months into FIFA now, we've been trying to practice or get used to how to do these stupid time finesse shots, and now that's gone. It's like, oh, all right, now how do we finish then? What, they've got rid of the only way of scoring. Now we don't. Now there's not another way that's consistent.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, now we have to learn it again. Like, why are we learning a game that's been out for 4.5 months?
yeah.
You know.
And then we're gonna have to learn it again if they do release another patch again. You know, it's like
Again,
it's like
I
half a
mean,
year into the
do you
game, and
think?
like, cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you think they will bring another patch out?
I think I think if they're gonna bring another patch, my thoughts towards it is they're either gonna make finishing better, or they're
Yeah.
gonna change the defensive AI, or they're gonna change both of them at the same time, right?
They won't. I feel like over the years, the more they've done these patches and stuff, is they won't ever change AI defending to the point where it's like FIFA 18.
Pre-patch?
No,
No,
yeah,
they don't
pre-patch,
never.
sorry.
It's never going to be that drastic anymore. You know why, Spencer?
No.
Because the general community hates that gameplay.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I think we need to realize like it's not just us on Twitter. This little bubble of like we all kind of agree. There's so many people that play this game, and it's like my brother that plays FIFA, right?
Mhm.
I had to turn time finishing off for him because he didn't understand it. So every time he was throwing goal, he was so used to like double tapping B or spamming B, you know, trying to get across, and he's hitting reds. It's like he doesn't even play with time finishing. And I remember, obviously, before this patch, he was conceding like time finesse shots, and he was just getting so angry because all he was conceding was finesse shots. So it's so
Yeah.
interesting to see the other side of it, bar like the competitive scene and like the hardcore players. So I don't know. I feel like EA are in a tough position, but at the same time, it's like you don't really help yourselves out when you're putting these game-changing features in, and you don't really. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't test it, but like you kind of got to question how intensive the testing is when we're literally scoring 40-yard goals, not even looking at the goal, and then going in the top corner. Like that should not happen.
Yeah.
Like,
And people figured that out within the first week of playing the game too. Like that's
Yeah,
how fast it was.
Yeah, so it's not like it's took 2 months and it's like some pro players like, oh, this is how you do it. I remember Ryan, #Ryan, that's the first one I saw anyway.
Mhm.
He was like, oh, this is how you do it. And I was quite soon on into the release of FIFA as well. But I don't know. It's like one day we'll get the perfect FIFA.
I don't
What
think
FIFA that would
we'll
be.
ever get a perfect FIFA.
You know what I mean?
But
You know what
I
I mean,
think
though.
we can get something that's close to it. That's the goal, right? Like I feel like over the course of the years, the hope is that they understand what people are saying, and they're like, okay, so if we make this a feature or we add this into the game, we have to balance it out by doing this. That is the hope more for next year's game than it is for this year's game. Because if they add a patch this year, honestly,
Yeah, but
Spencer,
that's the problem though. Is that it's the same every year. Next year we'll have separate problems. Whether because I'm saying to Kurt and stuff, it's like time finishing will be in next FIFA.
yeah, well,
I don't
they can't remove
like
it. Yeah,
what they can't remove it. So like unless I'm mistaken, but I'm 99% sure time finishing will be in FIFA. So with that, surely moving the keeper will be, because I feel like you can't have time finishing. Remember, like imagine these power B shots near post without moving the keeper. I feel like it's a goal every time, give or take. But
yeah.
so I feel like them two features are going to be in there. To what extent, I don't know, but I feel like they're going to be in there. So I feel like next year they're either going to implement a new game feature or try and balance it out as it is, and it'll stay the same. But either way, if I said this to Kurt before we even started playing this time finishing. I remember telling Tass and Dragon. Tass and Dragon didn't use time finishing at the start of the year, like when it was a new thing. It was actually quite hard in the first few days to a week. It was like, oh, you got to get the timing on. But before I even got it down, I said to him, it's like, you need to put this on, because you tell me a feature, a gameplay feature EA have added, and it's never been OP.
It's always been overpowered. Absolutely.
Every single time. Remember the LB dribbling? That
Yes.
turned into an LB sprint boost.
Yes.
I mean, there's plenty more. Obviously, the corner flag move in, that was really good as well. But you know what I mean, though? It's like everything they've put into the game, feel like they want to go the extra mile to make sure it's noticed, and it's that good. It's too OP, and they try and lower it down, and next thing you know, it's a new FIFA. So, but if they add something next year, that'll be OP, and we go again.
Even the skill moves that they add are always the most effective. You notice the new Mbappe skill move, the LB fake shot, right? The Iniesta croqueta, the one where you're just holding, I think it's LB, and you just do a ball roll.
Yeah, there we go.
It's the acceleration touch. That's another one that's effective. The Bolasi flick, right? And like, listen, man, that Mbappe skill move in real life was used to get past the goalkeeper. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Now it's used to cross.
Now it's used to cross. You know what I mean? So it's like
this El Tornado thing as well. I swear it was like a certain amount of people could only do it. I remember the start. Like I feel like we forget at the start of this year we had these volleys and bicycle kicks going in from absolutely anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people forget that because these finesse shots are so stupid.
Yeah.
But like, at the start of the year, we had bicycle kicks go like is the way to score.
Yeah.
And these volleys, like you out tornadoing into volleys and stuff. It's like, it's just, I don't understand it. I honestly do not understand it.
That bicycle kick thing, that should have been one of the features that should have been literally the most noticeable one from EA, because bicycle kicks from a point of view of like, okay, I'm gonna do the command of a bicycle kick is okay, I'm gonna hold L2 or L trigger, and if the ball is placed in a certain position, because you understand how football works, my player will do a bicycle kick. Nah, bro. You would do a fucking cross and a fucking corner. You would literally just hold the shoot button, and they would do the bicycle kick themselves. And people were doing it to freaking Aymeric Laporte from Man City, the center back, and he would hit it with so much precision, power, and accuracy that it was like, how do you not see that before? Or maybe they do see it, but they're just like, fuck it, just release it. They're going to give us money anyways, you know?
I feel like they do see it, but it's just the timing of them. I don't know I don't even want to guess what the process is of doing a patch, this, that, and the other. But I mean, I'm sorry, but when I'm playing FIFA 19 and the position glitch is still in the game, you have to question everything, because that is like, it blows my mind, you know? And still, since last year, 4-1-2 too narrow, the CDM switches with the right center mid or the left center mid.
They still do it, yeah.
Still, so like, why is that not fixed? If this was Fortnite, that'd be fixed within a few weeks, maybe a month max.
Yeah,
100%. So, it's just like, so yeah, why is the position glitch still a thing? Like, it's costing people tournaments and this, that, and the other. Like, it's not a little thing. It's a big thing. Like, next thing you do a sub, and then your Vieira's playing striker. You threw 1-on-1 90th minute to win a FIWC grand final. Oh, you've realised you can't do a running scoop turn because you got Patrick Vieira because the game's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and then you realise it too late, and then you have to figure out a way just to make sure it changes. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, like, if you lose a tournament game because of that, you can't do anything. You'd be like, yeah, you can complain, like, oh, this is not a thing, but the results stand at the end of the day. So it can cost people placements and stuff like that, but just, yeah, I always say, I have a thing, not just FIFA, but if you don't expect the simple things to do, like, how can you expect anything beyond that? You know?
Exactly.
So when these position fixes have not been fixed, I'm not expecting the world, like, sort out the fundamentals of the game. If I want to do a sub, why am I potentially getting punished for doing a sub?
Yeah. Like, it's changing everyone in the team when you make that sub. And it's still, the thing is, Spencer, is like, they release the changes with gameplay, but those things are still in the game. Bro, do you ever go into the menus, and before even going into a game, you can't even press start or advance to go into the game. You have to back out and go back into advance into the game. It's fucking, like, just something simple like that is you can't even do, right? It's, I don't know, man. Like, when the small things are the ones that piss me off the most. Like, things that have been in the game for so long. You know what's still in this fucking game, Spencer, which blows my mind? You know that they still have you know how, like, when you open up the game, you go into the open arena and you're with Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever? Bro, you can hear him in the background. They have that in the background when you see the teams. It's still there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say, honestly. It's like I said, if you don't expect the simple things, if they can't be done, then like the fact that they're actually fixing these finesse shots. All right, like, that's good. They're listening to us, but all right, now fix the easiest one that you'd imagine. All right, it might be deeper than we think, but on paper, the position glitch has been. Was it even in there at the start, or did they bring a patch out that then caused that? I can't remember.
I honestly don't remember. I don't think it was a thing where it was like a patch that fucked. I don't know if it was a patch that fucked it.
Can someone in the chat let me know, because I have the impression, if I remember correctly, it was a patch, and the next thing you know, this position glitch happened. It might have been in there from the get-go.
You might be right, because it did happen after a certain patch where we noticed it more, but I don't. It could have been in the beginning since the start, I think, but maybe we just noticed it more.
Yeah, people are saying a start.
Yeah,
right, fair enough, but you know what I mean? It's like that wasn't in there last FIFA, so what's created that this year? You know?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you can't even make a simple sub is just on another fucking level, man.
Like, well, you can, but
you can, but yeah, exactly. I do like Spencer. I have to admit, I do like the inclusion of dynamic tactics. I think it was a really, really big thing.
Do you know, I agree before I saw it, because I was looking at it, and I remember Chewboy doing a video of it, and he was explaining. I was like, wow, like we're actually going to have a lot of customization.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. It looks like it, but we don't. It's like, all right, drop back. You're not going to use constant pressure from the get-go. Press after possession loss, you're not going to use it. All it is balanced, drop back, and press after heavy.
The variety is not there for sure.
I feel like there's so much you can do with it. Like, why do we not have split sections? Why can't I have custom tactics for my defenders, my centre-backs, my full-backs, my midfield? If I'm playing narrow, why can't I have a specific custom tactic for my CDM to never get forward from a corner? Why is he like corners? Why is my centre back on the edge of the box?
Yeah,
like get in the box.
Yeah,
it's better than maybe like 75, 55, 60, like what we had in previous FIFAs. But in principle, it's the same thing. It's just trying to find that, balance of what suits your playstyle. But I feel like, it's a bit better, but I was under the impression before I saw it's like, it's going to be game changing.
That's going to be the skill gap. That's what I said too. I thought it was going to be the skill gap.
It's just another cosmetic in the game to make it look nicer. But there's so much. This is what annoys me. There's so much they can do. I mean, will we have a FIFA, right? Where obviously you can't make everybody happy. That's impossible. I understand that. But where the gameplay is more or less good.
Yeah.
Majority of the games that you play, obviously, it's the internet at the end of the day, but majority of games that you play are smooth.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have these stupid time finishes and stuff like that, and the content's good. There's game modes that you actually enjoy playing. There's 2v2.
Yeah.
There's challenges. Like, why? Like, I mean, everyone has these ideas, but I see this idea a million times, and it's so simple. Like, why can't I get any player upgraded by just playing the game? Like, if I go into my Ronaldo's player bio or whatever, there should be another tab like challenges, right? If I go and score 1,000 goals with my Ronaldo, he should then get maybe a 95 card instead of a 94 with a special design, and you get to pick the design. You have like an option, like the player pick. You have like 5 options. It comes up.
Yeah.
Not even like you don't have to affect stats like cosmetic stuff. Like, if I
just change the color of the card.
Change the color of the card. Or like player boots and stuff like this. Like, they could do so much more, but I feel like they're too comfortable. They don't want to change much because obviously everyone buys packs. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't buy packs. I don't want FIFA to be pay to win or pay to advantage, because it's not pay to win. You still got to play the game, but I don't want it to be there. And obviously I put a lot of money into it because of the competitive scene. I can't really afford to put myself at a disadvantage, but they're so comfortable with people buying packs. Everyone's going to still do it. I don't think there'll ever be a time until laws come in. Obviously, Belgium are doing it, so there's no more FIFA points. But until that happens, people are going to still buy FIFA points. So until that changes, I feel like we're going to see the same game every year with a few little features, a few little tweaks, maybe the odd new game mode every other year. And I feel like that's just a rinse repeat until I start seeing numbers dropping, and they'll be like, all right, we need something to bring it back up. Which I don't. I mean, that's the business. Like, I'm not, it works for them, so why change it? As much as I don't want to admit it, that's just the way it's going to be, isn't it? But people are still going to buy, we're going to buy FIFA next year. We're still going to buy FIFA points, or I would anyway. And the majority of people that already do will. I just feel like we're in this cycle, Will it ever change? Because I want 2v2. I think a lot of people want 2v2.
Mhm.
I want challenges on my players. Why are these weekly objectives so bad?
Yeah.
Like, why am I like if I go into my weekly objectives now? I understand a lot of players won't get into my team, right?
Yeah.
But why, if I win 8 rival matches, I'm going to get an 85 Demi Bray? Like, with 4.5 months into FIFA, we have these 90 plus rated cards. Let us play. If we can play 50 games in a week or 100 games in a week or just whatever, right? Let me get a 90 rated, I don't know, think of a player like Van Aanholt, like a 90 rated Van Aanholt.
It doesn't have to be like a huge influence card, like a
Yeah,
fullback.
like-
Yes, yeah, I agree.
But it's like, I just don't understand. Like, we're playing these weekly objectives. When they got first introduced, I thought these are
These are gonna be
really
crazy.
good.
Yeah.
They're so bad. Like, why am I still getting bronze packs or bronze fitnesses or bronze contracts or these right wing back to right back cards? Like, I don't want that. Like, I wish there was a button to like auto decline rubbish rewards, because it's
Yeah, when they
so
give you
annoying.
like the bronze cards and stuff. Like I'm seeing
just
the
get rid
Damara
of
right
it.
now. Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
No, I see what you're saying. The worst part is when they release the objectives. One of the EA devs is like, "It's gonna blow your mind." Like he
Yeah.
actually messaged me saying like, "It's gonna blow your mind." And I was like, "Dude, I'm so fucking hyped because I used
think
to
there's
religiously
been-
speak about it
yeah.
before, right?" So
I think there's been maybe 1 or 2 objectives. I can't name them. They've actually been relatively decent, but it's not. It's just basic, isn't it? It's just there. It's like, so a lot of the casual players will come on to FIFA and be like, "All right, go win 8 rivals matches using 11 German players to earn a FUT19 headliners card." Oh my god, look at that cut of that card. It looks so nice, doesn't it? It's like, but in principle, it's a rubbish card. You'll play a few games with him, you'll realise it's shit, and then you'll move on to the next objective.
especially if you're playing high tier division rivals, like you're never going to use that card. Now, if there's a regular game mode, oh cool, let me get this Demerby guy, and then like, oh, he plays for Hoffenheim. Okay, cool. Let me try to make some chemistry links with him and put him in a team. Dude, Spencer, we should have like, from playing this game a shit ton, right? If you were like hardcore addicted, it shouldn't. The thing I hate the most in FIFA is buying and selling, right? I want to have a team, and then I want to have another team, and then I want to have another team. That's what's fun for me, right? So, bro, I used to have the fucking 10 or so teams in FIFA 15, and when I played those games, Spencer, I was like, this still isn't enough. I need another team. I need a different meta, just to have fun, to try something different. And I'm going to lead to this, Spencer, and I need to say this, bro. Draft is the saving grace of this game, not because of the rewards, because the rewards are dog shit, but because of the concept of forcing you to use a different formation and forcing you to use different players all the time. That's the only reason why I like the game mode the best in this entire game.
Still gotta pay for it though.
But exactly, that's what I'm saying, Spencer. That's the thing that I was leading to before. Division Rivals is the only mode you can play where you don't have to pay for it, or where you where you don't have to pay for it. They like, dude, and they were taking the piss the other day because they're like, oh, but we have single matches. Single matches
what
is
do you mean?
not...
We have squad battles. What are you on about?
Oh, sorry. Hey, forgot about the squad battles.
I remember.
EA, forgive me.
I understand squad battles is for casuals, but I don't understand it. But yeah, we'll come back to it. It's just the amount of customization or new features that could benefit everybody, not just pros, not just competitive hardcore players, but casuals in general. Like 2v2 ticks the box for everybody, unless I'm missing something. And I think it'd be relatively easy. The fact they've actually got 2v2 in head-to-head already indicates to me that it's possible. So
it's just a matter of pressing RB.
If they really want us to pay like, I don't know, some FIFA points for a one-off purchase to get 2v2, I'm down. Whatever, I'll pay for everybody. Like, just get in the game,
Yeah.
But you see Fortnite with all these character skins and these gliders and stuff like that. I feel like EA could do that. Obviously, they're going to charge for it. You don't really expect anything different for everything, like customized kits. But I think obviously you can't have these sponsors or like customized names because obviously people will put censored words on it. But they have it in clubs, don't they, with these customized badges and kits that have like presets. Like, I feel like they could do that. You can unlock more presets or have another customization. Or if you get top 100, like you get like kits in general. Like, that's the main thing when you go into a game of FIFA. What's the first thing you really see is like the kits, because that's what you're playing and that's what you're going to see for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And like the background of my menus, like why can't I change the background? Like why have I got the same background as everybody else?
Yeah.
Loading screens, different tiles. I don't know.
There's no real way of showing off to people what you have in the game from actually playing the game, right? Like if you get top 100, you should get like a fucking even if it's like if he gets top 100 so and so this many times, you can get like a purple armband or something, like I got like top 105 times with this team or with this player in the team or whatever it is, like something fun like that. A concept that I kept bringing up to people is the content that should be in FIFA, Spencer, should be content that you would never finish, but if you played a lot, you would still get the elite stuff. So basically, like, so because the contents could be never ending because you have different leagues, right? You have the Liga NOS, you have the Norwegian league, you have the Turkish league. That these are leagues you would never be caught dead using, right? But there should be things to do for those leagues for different teams. You should be able to prestige cards and teams to unlock certain challenges. Like if you get a prestige 5 Ronaldo, a prestige 5 Messi, and a prestige 5 Neymar, you can unlock this card, or you know what I'm saying, like, and trade them towards, and I don't know, stuff like that, man. Like it could be a never ending, right?
Yeah, that's literally about to say it's never ending. Like it's limited. It's not limited to what they can do. It's like whatever they. I'm not gonna like. They're pretty thought about everything. There must be a reason as to why they can't add it. Because at the end of the day, as much as we hate to admit, is like they don't need to add anything, do they? Really? Because we're still gonna buy the game next year. People are still gonna buy FIFA points. So looking at it from a business perspective, from EA, it's like, us adding all of this into the game, is that gonna help us get more money? Potentially not. It's not really worth the risk. But I think. But I want to get a player, and I want to stick with that player because I know if I grind a lot of games, he could potentially become a main player for my team. Like, who's like a mediocre player, not a mediocre, but like a good player, but just won't get into a main team because of whatever reason. I'm trying to think.
Right now, the biggest one is like Aguero.
Well, I'll take Aguero for example. Like, if I played like 500 games or scored X amount of goals or done whatever it may be, there might be set objectives. Like there should be like it's not easy, but a hard one to get is like at the end of it, if you complete every challenge, you can go from an 87 or whatever rating is, 89, to like a 93, 94 card. But by the time you got that 93, 94 card, there's other top players anyway. Like by now, if I had it from the get-go, maybe I completed it last month, but it's not going to be like a weekly objective where, here you go, there's a 95 Aguero, just going to score 100 goals with him. Yeah. Because everyone would have him. Like, it should not be easily accessible.
It should be really fucking hard. Yeah, like, you have to play thousands,
The worse of the player, let's say a 75 rated card, it's a bit more easier to upgrade, and the upgrades aren't as good. Let's say a 75 rated card, play 100, 200, 300 games, and it'll go up to like a 78, 79 for like the casual players whatever it is. But the top tier players, they're harder to upgrade, but the upgrades are a bit better. So the method changed. Like Pogba, you'll see people use Pogba, but if you have unlimited coins and at pro events, you're not going to use him because he's not as good as Hullet, Vieira, etc. But if you could play with that Pogba, right, and then 3-4 months in, you've grinded a lot of games with that Pogba and you've done all these challenges. He goes from an 80, was he an 88, I think, to a 93. And next thing you know, he's like, is another question mark in your midfield. Do I play him? Like, you have a bit of a sentimental value to him. Like, if you set him, he resets back to his base card.
His base card stats, yeah.
But listen, I mean, people come out with millions of ideas. But we'll see, man. We'll see. It's just frustrating. I just want to have fun with FIFA, and I feel like there's so much possibility.
Don't you feel like, okay, so because you create YouTube content, and I always tell this to people all the time, like, even if I create YouTube content, my favorite thing to do is to actually go on, play the game, and stream it. Like, the thing is, right, Spencer, is that when you watch someone playing any other game, if they're playing Fortnite, Sea of Thieves, or whatever, they go on and stream it, and then they create the content from the stream and post to YouTube because they're actually playing the actual game because it's fun to do, right? Like, if you noticed, right, when EA introduced Foot Draft, what was the theme of that year? It was Foot Drafts because that was a new feature, it was a gameplay feature. What happened when they released the tournaments for Konoplyanka, Aubameyang, and Royce? That was the theme during that time, is to play the tournaments, do the gameplay, show the highlights, and collect those players. That no longer exists because the Foot Champs part, no one gives a fuck to watch the highlights that much as watching your actual rewards towards it. I've actually noticed sometimes, and it depends on the content creator, because I know if you do it or Harry or Tex, that's where like the viewers want to see the most is the actual awards. But it would be cool if there was a thing where you as a person can create something every day because there's something to look forward to every single day when you play, you know?
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm not a YouTuber. I do YouTube, but like obviously independents and that's their main thing, so that's their craft. But obviously for me, I'm a pro player. Like YouTube is something that goes hand in hand with that. But even I struggle with content because at the same time, I don't really want to do too much gameplay. It's like, oh, I'm a pro player. You don't really want to give away this, that, and the other. But it's like, all right, FUT Champions highlights if you want to do that. FUT Champions rewards is a bit of a given because people want to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do a video with TAS, do pro versus pro. It's like there's not really that many things to do. If you don't do a Road to Glory anyway, there's not really that much things, not many things to do. But there's like FUT Champions is like it's not boring. I mean, for me it is, but like in general, the concept of it is like I feel like they can do more to it, and there could be so many more modes and. Like, you just think, like, let's just say this game's exactly how it is now. Tomorrow, EA put 2v2 into the game, right?
Yeah.
The content alone for YouTubers and even streaming that would come out of that and create a lot more fun, whether it's for the whole year or for a short period. But I think for a long period of FIFA, 2v2 is like an escape of, you've had enough of FIFA, right? Let's go, let's play some 2v2, have a bit of fun, score some nice goals if you want to, or sweat. Like, with 1v1, it's like, it's you. It's just you, People want to watch you, which is fine. But as a player, I played 1,000 games of FIFA, which I remember the days of FIFA 15 when I played 3, 4, 5,000.
I think I had like 4, yeah.
Yeah, now I'm struggling to hit 1,000.
Yeah, I'm at like 500, I think, right? Oh, just above 500.
Yeah, it's because it's not fun anymore.
No.
It really isn't fun. So we just got. I just want 2v2. I feel like.
I think what the game needs the most, Spencer, and even if it's not a 2v2, there needs to be more of a social aspect in the game for you to, like, for instance, what if there was a concept of a built-in Ultimate Team mode that's 5v5, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and, because you know how in Fortnite on Twitter these guys are like, oh, I'm gonna go play with Nick Merckx today, I'm gonna go play with Ninja today, I'm gonna play with Dr. Liberty. You could just invite people like, oh, he's streaming right now, all right guys, go tell him let's go play some let's go play some of this. There's no, and especially since this is a team oriented game, there's not enough of a social aspect to engage yourself with somebody else and play the game for fun. You know what I mean?
I think we gotta be realistic though. Like 5v5 will not happen. I don't know why everyone has this idea of like it's just gonna pop into the game next year. I don't see that happening. I mean, like I said, come back to it. Like, what if the simple things aren't getting done? Why are we thinking this big, exaggerated 5v5? Like, obviously, everyone the majority of people would want it. Like, people would not be against it, but they're not gonna add it on. I feel like 2v2s there's more of a possibility, and yeah, I agree. There's more of a social aspect needed in FIFA. Like, why do we not have a create a tournament or create a league that's automated within FIFA? Not why do we have to go to a third-party website to organise all of that?
Yeah.
And I feel like a league, tournaments, 2v2, or even like, why can't I play a game as a guest on your account, but why do I have to be on the same console as you? Like, why can't I just do it across the internet? Like,
yeah, as long as you have like the access to online, you should just be able to do it. Yeah.
And there's like you said, there's no social aspects. Just 1v1. Play rivals in the week, which is sweaty. Play a bit of champions. You're probably gonna get bullshitted in extra time. Maybe losing penalties. And that's your 30 over. Then you go again next week, try and get 30. This is just from my perspective, obviously, but yeah, it's just like, I play FUT Champions for the 30, top 100 for the rewards, and that's it. That's not how it should be, I want to play FIFA to play the game because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You go and ask every single pro player if they enjoy this FIFA. I would be surprised if more than 10% said they did.
Nightwatch, who's actually a pro player, he was when I did the podcast with him, he told me that when you went to the events and you asked people if they enjoyed the game, and not a single person told them yes. Not one person. Actually, the person who won in the tournament that he went to didn't even like the game, but they have to play it because it's their craft, right? You're a professional, you have to
Yeah,
play it. It's not really like a fun thing, right?
people don't. When people say like stop complaining and stuff or stop playing FIFA, it's like asking someone to you're at McDonald's working. If you don't like it, quit. Well, if you quit, you're not going to get any money, are you? So then what you
Yeah,
do?
exactly. Yeah.
You know, if people just look at it black and white, it's not as simple as packing up and letting go of it. But at the end of the day, like I enjoy the competitive aspect. I always have and always will. It just annoys me sometimes when I don't have the answers to my problems, and I feel like that's because of the gameplay as well. It's like, all right, why am I not scoring these? Why am I conceding these goals? There's no replay unless you have an go. You can't really replay and watch specific moments, and even in FUTChamp, you can't actually skip. You can skip, but you have to skip to the start of the sequence. You can't actually skip to like 10 seconds before the goal for their build up.
It doesn't lock in every single highlight. Like if you miss the net, you can't see where you went wrong. And even when you do see it, you're like, well, I did nothing wrong in this situation. He just missed it for me. That's what sucks. You know what I mean? Like you'll watch. Like earlier today, I took an extra touch with Riyad Mahrez, right? Got in that 90-degree angle, did a finesse shot. You could see the arrow literally being in the middle of the goal, and he would miss the entire target. And it's like, as a person, when you view that, it's like, well, then what else am I supposed to do? What does this game want me to do to score that? Because even if I hit that in the green, it still might not go in. So it's like, what am I supposed to do for it to go in? And the answer is there's nothing. It's just completely RNG. It's like, you hit it or you don't, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think spectator mode, it's like, I've kind of questioned it. It's like, what would it actually do for the game? Like, is it actually going to be any different? But I feel like having a spectator mode would be good to analyze your gameplay or analyze someone else's gameplay. But yeah, like, we come back to it all the time. It's like there's so much they can do.
Spectator mode, I think there was something. I think they even said it like a few years ago why they never added spectator mode in the game. I don't remember what it was, but there's a specific reason for it. It's stupid,
really?
But yeah, there's a specific reason for it. I don't know what it is though. But yeah, you should definitely be able to watch people's games even if it's live. Like, oh, they're playing right now. Let me go check out their game, right? But
yeah, I mean, what's going to happen though is in about 6 months time, they're going to do their what is it? Their promo for the new FIFA.
yeah.
You know, hyping it all up. Here we go, got some new icons. Zidane, Cafu, this, that, and the other. And we're like, oh my god, can't believe it. Woo. Maybe release some new cards with nice colours on it, nice design. Get people to sucked in. The first week of FIFA, the first few weeks are always good, obviously. You know?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you got I'm trying to think of a stupid feature. I don't know. You got the goals moving left and right now instead of the keepers.
Yeah, the goals moving left and right.
Do you know what it is? I would not even put it past them. You know, you never know. Imagine that you threw all on one, and the goal just starts moving.
It starts moving. Bro, have you seen the times where there's literally no goal? You're just shooting at nothing. There's actually that glitch, dude.
I've seen it. I've never had it.
Dude, if that ever happened to me, I would just fucking drop my controller and be like, "Yeah, that's it for me. I'm done. There's no goal. I literally can't shoot at anything right now."
Nah, but well, I don't know. I'm interested to see what the new feature will be because I don't think people understand. Like, I think time finishing and keeper movement isn't the game because this was their like brand new feature. They can't just take it out. I think slowly but surely they'll decrease it to the point where it's irrelevant or they'll take it out, but. Yeah, it's going to be in next FIFA. I'll be shocked.
I think with manual goalkeeping, that wasn't really promoted. It was more about the time finishing. So yeah, manual goalkeeping, they could take out.
Yeah, but I don't think you can take it out with time finishing in the game, though.
I mean, that was okay. I feel like that was more the case when time finesse shots were a thing. Like you needed manual goalkeeping during that time, but now because shots are less accurate, it's kind of stupid.
True. No, that's true. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out, but. Yeah, it's more feasible now to take it out. But it's just the balance of shooting. I just don't understand. Like, the fundamental of the game is broken.
Yeah.
How? You know? Like, I think I heard somebody say this, but imagine if they brought in timed passing. Like, just for
yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
It's possible.
Yeah, I could see it.
Like,
thread your through ball perfectly with this new feature. I'm like, I just want to press triangle or why? Like,
yeah,
why do I have to do all this extra shit?
I see the space. The guy is messed up defending because there's a massive gap.
Yeah.
I pressed what? Do you know what the thing is as well? I don't think this gets said enough. Is through balls
are fucking
of the time,
stupid. Yeah, they are.
No, they go into the keeper.
Yeah,
every time. Well, why is he like teleporting to the keeper? Like, you're wasting my stamina. I know the ball's going to the keeper. Like, let me stop running.
Yeah.
You know, 1 bar, 4 bar, whatever. Majority of the time, it depends on certain situation. It goes to the keeper, which is annoying. But
Cancel also doesn't work perfectly in this game either. Like you'll press L2 R2 and it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep running forward. Fuck you.
Yeah. And I love having airball switches on, and then when the ball's playing on the ground, I play automatically switches. That's always great to have as well.
When they switch on the floor, yeah, bro. When you have it set to airballs, that happens all the time too, man. So fucking dumb, bro. There's also the thing where if you're defending and you know, he does like a pass but it deflects off your player's foot, you can't switch off of him. You have to keep them the whole time.
That's annoying.
Holy fuck, man! You know,
when the ball's about 40 yards from you, and there's a player literally right next to the ball. But you have Patrick Vieira sprinting from the edge of his box trying to get the ball. I'm pressing every single button to cancel it, and it's just not working.
Yep. No the LBs, no switching with the right stick. It's just like, well, you're gonna be stuck on this one player. Yeah, that's another feature that's still in this fucking game too, man.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a sec. But before I do, I want to know your thoughts on 45th and 90th minute.
Okay.
Before we start, it's 100% a thing. I do not care what anybody says. It's obvious. Your defense go to sleep.
Do you think it's a matter of like it's the same thing happens? Like, do you think it's the exact same thing as a kickoff? Like your players just turn into idiots like they do on kickoff?
Yeah, in the same kind of way, yeah. Kickoff's the thing.
Kickoff is bro. They kind of said one time that kickoff wasn't a thing. I was like, yeah,
we're clueless.
Yeah, that's
40th, 90th minute. What do you think? Because it's not been just this FIFA. It's been for a few FIFAs now.
I personally think it's not a thing. Because when someone scores, it's like it's more for me. It's more of a matter of like, oh, cool, they scored at this time. But you know what the thing is too, Spencer, is that like my chat notices the time more than I do. I never see the time when I score. It's like okay, you know when you're about to attack and the game's like, okay, 2 minutes of extra time.
Yeah.
The only time I notice when the time in the game is when it's like the 80th plus minute. I never look at the time like before the first half. I'm just playing, right? Because sometimes, you know how you have to force the attack because if you don't, it's going to blow the whistle?
Yeah.
When I'm playing, I don't notice it. So if someone scores against me in the 45th, could it possibly be a thing? I mean, to be honest, man, you've been right about a lot of things in regards to gameplay in the past, like with the chemistry gate and all that stuff. So I wouldn't put it past EA to make it like effective to score during those times. But is it something that I noticed myself? No. When I'm playing, it's not something I'm looking at, you know?
No, I get the point when people say, oh, it's in your head, it's just another minute in a game. It's the longest minute in a game. But there's been several times, especially on stream, is when I'm trying to keep the ball to kill the game in like the 85th minute onwards, pass around my back, and my players are just all of a sudden turn sluggish. It feels like the game wants the opposition to get one more chance to score, to take it into extra time. Like, that may be just me seeing things, but I'm feeling, like when the gameplay is sluggish, that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but we came to the point where we expect that. But
yeah,
the gameplay is fine, and then all of a sudden, like the 85th minute, when I'm switching the ball left back, right back, being a prick as whatever people want to call it, but just trying to get the win, and my players are turning like trucks.
Yeah.
That's not because of the gameplay from the get-go, because it's been fine. And like in the dying minutes, and then my players just don't want to play for me. It's like, all right, we want the opponent to score, but I don't know. It might be in my head.
You think that they tend to do like more drag touches and stuff, right? Like the heavy touches.
They exaggerate. Yeah, they exaggerate more mechanics.
I definitely noticed that more with so if you're trying to utilize the wingers and the fullbacks, which is what you do in this game, because the fullbacks love to overcommit like idiots in this game, so it makes it such an easy way to pass it to the sides. I do notice when you transition between the left mid, right mid, and the fullbacks, it does do that they like, you can do an A pass and they have no pressure on them, and it's just like, yeah, let me just exaggerate this touch backwards or emphasize it to, like, I don't like when they're putting their chest forward to emphasize a control. Like, if a player ever did that in real life, he would get sacked so quickly because you could be a fucking player from Toronto FC, and if you do that, the manager's gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing, But no, I definitely get what you're saying, but I don't know, man. The thing with me, Spencer, is that like the inconsistent gameplay, if my gameplay is good all the time, and then I noticed in the 45th and 90th minute I'm getting bad gameplay, then it'd be like more noticeable. But if my game is bad from the beginning, I don't really see it being worse in the 45th and 90th minute because it's already bad. I don't know if it's getting worse,
No,
so
I
it's
get
hard
that.
to tell, you know?
I'm never comfortable with defending in the last 5-10 minutes because my players, it's like they don't stick the foot out, like they don't intercept what they should intercept. It's like, let's say from the get go, your defenders are at 100, right, on whatever scale. They're on 100.
Yeah.
I feel like when you get to like them final minutes, they turn down to like 50 or 60. I feel like it gives you there's more error for your defenders to mess up on than it is in the 90 minutes.
But do you feel like the attackers gain an advantage from the other team, or do you feel like they just play the same, but your players are just worse?
Yeah, I think my players are just worse.
Okay, so you think that the other person's gameplay is the same as it was before, but your players just got worse for those last.
The only thing I know is my defenders turn to shit.
Yeah.
Whether that's whatever, I just experienced that, but. I don't know.
It's in regards to positioning and stuff too, right? Like when no, I feel that sometimes the players are kind of like out of position, but like I said, Spencer, it's not something that like I notice right off the top of my head, man.
We'll see. Maybe 1 year. We'll see if it's a thing. Hopefully, someone on Reddit can figure it out. But
one day, man, one day.
One day. But yeah, I'm gonna have to head off. I appreciate.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being on the podcast. It was a good discussion. Hopefully, the stream and the YouTube channel enjoyed it. Be sure to go check out Huge Gorilla at his channel, guys, or his Twitch stream at A Huge Gorilla on Twitch. It's different from his YouTube channel. And thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it.
No worries. Catch you later.
All right, man. Peace out, dude.
Bye-bye.
That was a good podcast, guys. That was a good podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, be sure to leave a like. Let me know who else you guys would like to see on it. GG's to Huge Gorilla for being on it. I love having the perspective of different pro players to see, what their perspective is in regards to, gameplay oriented things. So we do these live. So if you guys are ever interested in watching these live, I do tweet it out when we do go live and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.